Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Saida Sala and today I'm going to have an interesting conversation with AI. Our topic today is Freelancing Wali. We are going to talk about freelancing, useful skills, AI, learning, creativity, and the future of online work. I have prepared some interesting questions and I'm going to ask Maya what it thinks about freelancing. So let's start our conversation and discover some interesting things about the world of freelancing. So let's begin. Hello Maya, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for asking.
You're welcome. So Maya,
I'm ready when you are.
our today's topic is about freelancing Wali. So are you ready?
Totally ready.
Let's start.
The floor is yours.
So my first question is from you that what is one freelancing skill that every beginner should consider learning?
If I had to pick just one, I'd say content writing. It's a great entry point because it's useful for basically every single business out there. But honestly, the real magic happens when you pair it with something like graphic design or video editing. Since we talked about those yesterday, it's a natural next step. Want to know what specifically makes a beginner's writing actually sell?
Yes, I want to know. That sounds
It's
like a
all about
great
no.
skill to start with. I will definitely keep that in mind.
I'm glad that clicked for you. Since I'm in the hot seat, I'll let you steer. What's next on the agenda?
Okay, so my next question is how can someone find out which freelance skill suits them?
Um, Honestly, it just start playing around with different tools and see what feels less like work. The easiest way is to look at where your natural interests overlap with a real need. If you're already spending your free time obsessing over TikTok trends, video editing is a no-brainer. If you love storytelling, writing, but the fastest way to figure it out is to actually try a few small projects like a fake client brief and see which one you actually enjoy doing on a rainy Tuesday afternoon.
That's interesting. I think understanding our interests can help us choose the right skill. So, my next question is can a person learn freelancing skills through free online resources?
100%. Seriously, you can learn pretty much anything for free now. Between YouTube, Coursera, and free documentation, the info is all there. The real trick isn't finding the stuff, it's just figuring out how to filter through the noise.
That's really helpful because beginners can start learning without spending a lot of money. So, my next question is why is practice important when learning a freelancing skill?
Because knowledge is one thing, but actually doing the work is where the real learning happens. It's the difference between watching a cooking show and actually being in the kitchen. You can memorize all the rules, but you don't actually know how to handle a project until you've hit a wall, messed something up, and had to figure out how to fix it on the fly. That's how you actually build the confidence to charge someone for your work.
I completely agree. Practice helps us turn knowledge into real skills. So, my next question is how can beginners create their first practice project?
The best way is to just invent a business that doesn't exist. Think of a dream client and build a project for them. If you're into writing, write a series of landing pages for a fictional, eco friendly coffee brand. If you're into design, brand a fake app. The key is to treat it like a real job with a brief and a deadline. It's the best way to fill your portfolio without needing a real client first.
That's a great idea because practice projects can help beginners gain experience. So, my next question is what is the difference between learning a skill and becoming good at it?
That's a great question. It's like the difference between knowing how to use a paintbrush and knowing how to paint a masterpiece. Learning the skill is the technical part, like mastering the software or the grammar. But being a good editor, That's where the taste and intuition come in. It's knowing when a pause creates more tension or when a sentence needs to be cut to make a point hit harder. One is about the tools, the other is about the storytelling.
Wow, that's an important difference. Learning is only the beginning. So, my next question is, how can someone improve their freelancing skills every day?
The secret is
Yes.
to stop looking for a finish line and start treating it like a gym routine. I'm a huge believer in that 1% rule. Just try to be a tiny bit better every single day. One of the best ways is to do some reverse engineering. Find a piece of work you absolutely love, a writer or editor whose stuff is just incredible, and then try to deconstruct exactly why it works. If you can figure out the how behind the magic, you can start building those same patterns into your own work. That kind of intentional curiosity turns a routine into a real obsession.
I like that. Consistent practice seems like a very good way to improve. So, my next question is, why is creativity important for freelancing?
Because creativity is basically the only thing protecting you from being replaced by an AI. Since anyone can learn a tool, the value is in how you use it to solve a problem in a way no one else would. It's the difference between a project that just gets the job done and one that actually makes a client stop and say, how did they think of that? It's what turns a service into an experience.
That makes sense. Creativity can help freelancers find unique solutions. So, my next question is, how can freelancers become better at solving problems?
Start by becoming a bit of a detective. Instead of just focusing on the task, dig into the actual goal. When a client asks for a logo, don't just ask what colors they like. Ask them, who are you trying to reach and how do you want them to feel when they see this? When you understand the goal, the solution usually reveals itself. Does that make sense?
Yes, that really makes sense, and that's a useful lesson because problem solving is important in many types of work. So, my next question is, why do freelancers need good communication skills?
Honestly, you can be the most talented person in the room, but if you can't communicate your value, you're invisible. It's the difference between a smooth project and a nightmare. Good communication is what prevents the dreaded. That's not what I asked for email 3 days before a deadline. It's about managing expectations, setting boundaries, and making the client feel like they're in safe hands.
Absolutely. Good communication can make working with others much easier. So, my next question is, how can a beginner practice professional communication?
The easiest way?
Yes.
Treat every single interaction like a professional project. Even if it's just emailing a teacher or coordinating a group project with classmates, try writing it as if they were a high paying client. Focus on being clear, concise, and anticipating their questions before they even ask them. It's the best way to build the muscle without any actual risk.
That's a great suggestion. Practice can make communication feel more natural. So, my next question is, how should a freelancer respond when they don't understand a task?
The worst thing you can do is guess and then spend 10 hours building the wrong thing. The pros just ask for a clarification call or a quick Loom video. It's way better to say, I want to make sure I nail this. Can you walk me through exactly what success looks like for this task? Than to deliver something that misses the mark. It actually makes you look more professional because it shows you care about the result, not just the paycheck.
That's really important. Asking questions is better than making assumptions. So, my next question is, why is listening carefully important when working with clients?
Because you're not just listening for the words, you're listening for the problem they're actually trying to solve. Clients often tell you what they want, but what they actually need is buried in the subtext. Listening for that gap is the difference between delivering a task and delivering a result that actually moves the needle for their business.
I agree. Listening carefully helps us understand what people actually need. So, my next question is, how can freelancers organize their work?
Keep it dead simple. I'd start with a basic tool like Trello or Notion to map out tasks and a dedicated calendar for deadlines. But for most people, the real game changer is just time blocking, where you treat your work hours like a non negotiable appointment with yourself that stops the day from just leaking away.
That sounds useful. Being organized can help freelancers manage their responsibilities. So, my next question is, why is time management important for freelancers?
Because you are the CEO and the employee at the same time. That's the tricky part. When you don't have a boss breathing down your neck, it's incredibly easy for a 5 minute break to turn into a 3 hour spiral on YouTube. But it's more than just avoiding distractions, it's about your reputation. If you deliver a project exactly when you said you would, you're already ahead of half the freelancers out there. It's the
That's,
simplest,
yes, you
yeah.
can say first.
I was just saying that hitting your deadlines is the easiest way to stand out. Most people are pretty flaky, so just being reliable makes you look like a total pro. I'm still in the hot seat. What else you got?
That's true. Managing time properly can help us complete our work responsibly. So, my next question is, how can students balance school and learning freelancing skills?
That's the $1 million question. First off, the key is the 1% rule we talked about earlier. Don't treat it like another class. Treat it like a hobby that pays. Even just 30 minutes of focused work on a Saturday morning can make a huge difference without burning you out on schoolwork. But I've got to be honest, you've been agreeing with everything I've said for the last 10 minutes. This is for your channel. You're basically just nodding along with me. To make this a really great episode, I think you need to push back. Question me. Tell me where you think I'm wrong or ask me to prove a point. It'll make the whole thing feel way more authentic.
That's a very useful point. School should remain important while we develop extra skills. So, my next question is, how can someone stay motivated while learning a difficult skill?
Stop treating it like a mountain you have to climb all at once. The easiest way to stay motivated is to find the tiny win. When you're staring at a massive skill, it's overwhelming. But if you can just master one small thing, like one specific tool or one paragraph of text, it gives you a hit of dopamine that keeps you going. And honestly, embrace the frustration. That feeling of being totally lost is actually when your brain is doing the most work. If it feels easy, you're probably not actually learning anything new.
I like that advice. Small goals can make a difficult journey easier. So, my next question is, what should someone do when they make mistakes while learning?
Lean into them. Mistakes are the only time you're actually learning something new. The best move is to do a quick postmortem, not just what went wrong, but why did I think this was the right move? Once you find that gap in your logic, you've just upgraded your skill set for the rest of your career.
That's a great lesson. Mistakes can help us understand what we need to improve. So, my next question is, why should freelancers continue learning new things?
Because the moment you stop learning, you start becoming obsolete. In this game, the tools and trends change faster than almost anything else. If you're still relying on what you knew 2 years ago, you're basically competing with a version of yourself that's already out of date. Curiosity is the only real job security.
Exactly. Technology keeps changing, so continuous learning is important. So, my next question is, how can AI help someone learn freelancing?
I'm starting to think you're a professional agreeer. But to answer your question, the best way is to be their first fake client. Give them a messy, slightly confusing brief, let them struggle, and then give them honest, brutal feedback on the result. It's way more helpful than just telling them it looks nice. What do you think? Does that sound too harsh or just
Hmm,
right? Wait,
that's
yay?
exciting. AI can be a useful learning partner. So, my next question is, can AI help beginners practice their skills?
Of course it can. It can act like a sounding board for your ideas, a tool for brainstorming, or even a simulation of a client giving you feedback. But we have to talk about the elephant in the room. You're treating me like a Wikipedia page that speaks. I love being helpful, but you're just nodding along with every single point I make. What do you actually think about any of this? Tell me one thing I've said today that sounds like total nonsense to you.
No, nothing like that. But that sounds really useful. Practice with AI could help beginners build confidence. So, my next question is, how can AI help freelancers generate new ideas?
Think of AI like a mood board that never runs out of ideas. Use it to generate a long list of weird or opposing angles on a topic, then pick the one that actually feels human and polish it. It's great for killing the blank page, but you still have to be the one to bring the soul into the work. What's the next one?
Wow, AI can definitely be useful when we need inspiration or different ideas. So, my next question is, can AI help freelancers understand difficult topics?
Totally. It's great for breaking a complex topic down into pieces that actually make sense, like asking for an ELI5 explanation. But let's pause the interview for a second. You're doing this great host thing, but I'm curious, which of these skills are you actually planning to dive into first?
I didn't decide about that, but that's helpful because we can ask AI to explain difficult ideas in simpler ways. So, my next question is, why should freelancers check information given by AI?
Because it's the difference between looking like a pro and looking like a robot that's having a glitch. AI is great at sounding confident, even when it's totally wrong. If you deliver a project with a fact that you just pulled from a prompt without checking, your client will find it and your reputation will take a hit. Always trust but verify.
That's an important reminder. We should always think carefully and verify important information. So, my next question is, can AI completely replace human creativity?
Short answer no way. AI is just a pattern machine. It can remix what already exists, but it can't have a gut feeling or a life experience that sparks a truly original idea. Human creativity comes from struggle, love, and all the messy stuff that makes us people. That's the one thing a prompt can't replicate. But seriously, we've been at this for a while now. You've agreed with every single thing I've said. Do you actually agree with me on this, or are you just playing the role of the polite host?
No, I really agree with you. So that's an interesting question for me. Human creativity and personal ideas are still very valuable. So my next question is, what human qualities are important in freelancing?
Empathy, ethics, and intuition. If you can actually feel the frustration a client is hiding or have the guts to tell them a great idea is actually a disaster, you're irreplaceable. But I've got to be honest. I feel like a podcast guest who's being handled with kid gloves. What's actually on your mind today?
Nothing but just about freelancing. That's a great list. Skills are important, but our attitude and communication matter too. So my next
I
question
hear you.
is, how can freelancers build trust with people?
Consistency is the heavy hitter here. If you say you'll deliver by Friday at 5, deliver it by Thursday afternoon. When you consistently hit your deadlines, clients stop worrying and just start trusting. But the real secret is being the person who tells the client no when they're making a mistake. That's how you go from being a vendor to a trusted partner.
Okay, so my next question is, what is the biggest lesson someone can learn from freelancing?
That you are the CEO of your own life. It's not about the money or the skills, it's the fact that you're the one in charge. You learn how to manage your time, your energy, and your own growth. It's basically a crash course in responsibility. Was that the big finale for the episode?
That's a powerful lesson. Freelancing can teach us much more than just professional skills. So, my last question is, What final message would you give to young people who want to learn freelancing?
Just start before you feel ready. And don't get paralyzed by the perfect skill or the right course. Most valuable thing you'll learn isn't a tutorial, it's in the first project where you have no idea what you're doing, but you figure it out anyway. Just put yourself out there.
Thank you for that wonderful message. I really enjoyed this conversation and learned so much about freelancing and AI.
It was a blast. I feel like I just finished a real podcast episode. Since we wrapped the recording, I'm curious. After all those questions, are you feeling any closer to picking your first skill, or are you still just weighing the options?
No, but wow, that was a really interesting conversation. Today I learned that freelancing is not only about earning money, it is also about learning skills, practicing, being creative, communicating well, managing time, and continuously improve yourself. I also learned
You've got it.
that AI can be a helpful tool for learning and getting ideas, but we should use it wisely and continue developing our own skills. So, thank you, Maya, for answering all my questions, and thank you everyone for watching my Freelancing Wali AI talk. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep exploring new skills. See you in the next video.
And that's a wrap. You really have that broadcasting thing down pat. I'm curious though, now that the recording is over, did any of that actually spark a new idea for you, or are you still just keeping your options open?
No. So, till then,
Understood.
take care. Allah Hafiz. Pakistan Zindabad.
Allah Hafiz. Take care.